Alright guys, welcome to VALORANT News. The World Championship Grand Final beckons FNATIC versus NRG. What a finale to what's been quite a remarkable season. A revenge arc potentially for FNATIC they're looking for today. A rematch of what happened earlier on in the tournament. And Boaster making it very clear indeed he has been waiting a very long time to get this moment in the World Championship Grand Finals. What's going to happen? Loads of reaction to all the drama around the world of VALORANT today. Very much enjoy your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. We are going to begin right about here with Pixel actually. Just because this is pretty funny. He played some 2v2s yesterday against Durka and Sayonara, and well, it went actually rather well for him. He found himself in a few little 1v2 scenarios. He did get clowned here by Durka, but there were some other rounds that he actually did win, so I will give him his credit on that one. We also did see yesterday the reveal of the new agent. Just before we get to that, I'll quickly mention it's not strictly related to VALORANT, but it is kind of semi-relevant in terms of the future here, that in the LCS and League of Legends, Sentinels are set to join and take 100 Thieves' spot. So that's just pretty interesting between those two organisations. Is it going to filter to any degree down to what's going to happen with their VALORANT programs? Not necessarily, but it is still pretty interesting, right, as these two franchises could well do a bit of business in the VALORANT side as well with some of their players. Now, this is very interesting to note, because we spawn into a sunset and we get to see some glimpses of this new agent. Now, it's pretty funny how this is actually going, because lots of players, not even just the pro players, but also just general fans who enjoy playing Val, they are getting a little frustrated with just the quantity of utility and equipment and everything that's happening on the map all the time. It's also making the game harder to run because, you know, at the peak, there's a lot happening on the screen and the computer's got to render all of that stuff. Now, it seems the solution from Riot to this, they're obviously not going to get rid of agents, they're not going to tone it down. But the solution might be to actually introduce an agent that does that for you. So it started to get noticed they were dropping these little things whereby, you know, someone would throw a Raze ult out and this new agent will simply intercept it. As you can see, it just straight up disappears. This is also the case for pretty much everything else. This was the video that probably did the most traction just because it was a surprise that Reyna throws out the orb and it gets zapped. Jet throws out the cloudburst, the smoke, and it gets zapped, right? So, you know, and it's not just that. It seems to be basically everything can be zapped by the new agent. For example, the Sage Wall goes up, and that gets zapped as well. So exactly what this ability is, how it's going to work or whatever, is interesting. But I actually think that this is a pretty good decision by Riot. For this agent at this point in VALORANT's life cycle, instead of giving them just a ton of new abilities that just add even more chaos to the map, their ability is going to be very much as a counter to some of the other utility that we have. Now, presumably it can't be that strong, because if you put this agent on a site and every single bit of utility that comes in just gets shut down, that agent becomes almost just very much way too good. But it does give really interesting counterplay options. If you know that a team is running a certain strategy, you know that you can save up your utility for certain rounds to counter some of those ideas. If you know they're going to run a certain protocol, you know, if you can zap one of their smokes, then it totally destroys their whole execute potentially, right? And that's not something that we've really been able to do until now. So yeah, we'll see how that goes, whether the agent is too strong or whatever when everything gets officially revealed. There's like a concert today, there's a lot happening today. But yesterday we had the losers finals game. DRX played FNATIC, and this was a competitive series. Owner, again, it was pretty mind-blown at some of the antics on the FNATIC side of the stage. There was also, well, there was a few great moments. This was an especially amazing one here from Crashies, who finds himself in a 1 versus 3. Look, to be fair, they're already up 8-0 here on the Corrode, but still, 1-2 on 30 HP, and then slams Bayon as well for the 1v3. Crashies just took over yesterday. It's such a great story, I think, for Crashies, that he's in this team. Of course, like, it would have been lovely that Leo maybe came back, but as we know, that's not happening. Leo is retiring from VALORANT. We saw that confirmed by FNATIC not that long ago. But Crashies was the player of this series, and the fact that he comes back and will play NRG, his former team, in the grand finals is a mega storyline. Now, look, Boaster there was plenty going on that side of the stage. There was, well, as Pixel updates say, there were some culture shocks happening. More so, I think we already shared this clip actually a couple of seconds ago. There was a bit of talk from Tarek because, again, sometimes you get this. PCs crash, the rounds needs to be replayed, and they're like, and basically the casters are told, all right, we're going to replay the rounds. This is actually the count, and they just go with it, right? I think there's an argument, as Tarek says, that maybe there should be a bit more transparency there, that they're a little bit clearer to say, look, this is why it's getting replayed. This is how. I don't know exactly how they would do this, whether they have someone from the referee team walk out on the stage with a microphone and explain everything, but something to think about, really. But Crashy is, yeah, he delivered a masterclass this series, and that was enough to get FNATIC very much so over the line. They take the 3-1 win against DRX. They lost the first map 13-8 on their map pick, the Sunset, so it looked like DRX were potentially well on their way to doing it, but after bouncing back on the corrode thanks to largely a Crashy's masterclass, the Haven they then won 13-11 was not like easy at all, but they won when it mattered, and at that point DRX I think were pretty broken, and they go down 13-4. So FNATIC, deserving grand finalists of the tournament. Fair play to DRX even making it to top 3. As I said the other day, of the top 4 teams, the only one that I didn't think could win it was DRX, and I guess they proved me right, maybe, by losing here. I think they really gave it a good go, but I didn't feel like they had what it takes. And, well, FNATIC dispatched them when it matters. So Boaster to the World Championship Grand Final, and loads of reaction, right? I mean, Paris is going pretty crazy. Boaster was on the microphone, gassing up the fans and saying, look, you know, support us tomorrow against NRG. I think it's good that you want there to be some sort of, like, favourites. I mean, I wouldn't exactly say favourite, but... And it's not like NRG are going to be the villains exactly. I know that people might consider Brook a bit of a villain because of the Odin abuse, but the point is that it's not like there's a kind of Demon 1 villain level storyline here with evil geniuses coming through the tournament. So you want there to be a little bit of needle in the grand finals, right? Like, you want there to be a fan favourite to a certain extent. It always makes the, you know, the matches to some extent more entertaining. The DRX guys, Hyan Min, Bayan, of course, they were frustrated with their loss, but as he says, you know, they played well, love those guys, you know, see you next season. So I think, given DRX's expectations for this tournament, they'll be pretty happy with the way that things concluded. But I wanted to share this clip for you guys, because this was actually a phenomenal clip, I thought, from Boaster. I think a lot of the time from Boaster, you get the perception, and for good reason, that he's pretty easygoing, pretty whimsical, right? Like, even his tweets, when they win or when they lose, he's like, oh, we'll come back stronger and all this. You get the perception, of course, that Boaster, as is anyone in his position, is very competitive. But it feels some of the time that if Boaster wins or if he loses, it's like, well, you know, go next, right? Like, it's not the end of the world, which it isn't. You've got to enjoy life. But Boaster, this clip shows that he's far more of a competitive animal than I think I have given him credit for, and I think others have given him credit for. What he describes here, that in all the other championships that he's failed to win previously, he's always been there, staying around to watch the team lift the trophy so it could inspire him that today is the day to do it.
Making it to the grand finals. I mean, I assume that you've had plenty of thoughts, dreams, emotions about what it would be like for you to finally get to that position. Today, you made it to that position. Is the emotion similar or close to what you kind of envisioned, or not really? And also, I can ask the rest of the teams about their perspective on that also.
100%, because every event that we've lost at Champions, I've ended up staying when there was an audience. So Istanbul, LA, and Korea. And I stayed till the end just so I could watch the person lift the trophy that I want to lift the most. And that's kind of what kept the hunger going and my drive going, because a lot of players could simply like just kind of ease out, but I just wanted to get one more like big win with the boys. And I think this year has been an amazing year, a lot of grand finals, and we didn't manage to get the trophy in the international event. So for me, it's just, there is a trophy on the line, but at the same time, it's been a lot of fun. And I think the times where we just enjoy it, and this game happened today where we're just dancing around having fun, it just goes to show like how much pressure and stress it takes off us. And if we win tomorrow, we win. If we lose, well, we've lost quite a few times this year, heartbreaking losses. And like I said in an interview before, like my boys, they had like tears of sadness at Toronto, and it's been a mission since then for all of us to see like tears of joy from all of them. I'm getting really good teary up here, but yeah, I just want to have fun tomorrow and like go out there.
This is a clip that I have seen before, but now it does hit kind of different in hindsight, right? This is the 2023 World Championship when Evil Geniuses won. That's Demon 1 lifting it on the stage, and here's Boaster, you know, watching on, absolutely gutted, right? Watching that team lift the trophy. So that's the type of stuff that will make you into and forge you into a player that's capable of winning the big one. And today he gets the opportunity to try to do so. So NRG FNATIC, look, who's going to win? Who knows? NRG beat them the first time around. I think FNATIC are going to be a stronger force. But I'm taking NRG. I'm taking Ethan. I'm taking NRG in 5. And I don't know who's going to win. I think it's actually very interesting today. Ethan's back in a championship grand final. He's already won one of them. Chronicles in his second grand final. Crashy's in his second grand final. But those two guys lost their first. So, you know, will Ethan win 2? And those guys will go 0 for 2 in champs grand finals? Or will it be a very different story? So intrigue your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care. And I'll see you next time.